And joining me now, I'm excited to have on this next guest. He's a legend up at Utah. Mr. Mayor, Hunter Dimick, one of the best to ever do it as a pass rusher at the University of Utah. Man, I'm excited to have you here, Hunter.
I appreciate you having me, man. It's been a long time coming getting to sit down with you.
Yeah, dude, we've been talking a lot about getting you on the show, and just you've been busy and then I've been busy at times and stuff. And so it's finally it's great to sit down and have you on the podcast, man.
Yeah, no, this adult schedule stuff's pretty tough, so I'm glad we made it work.
I love it, dude. So I gotta share. Obviously, you know, you're a hometown kid, grew up in Syracuse. I also grew up in Syracuse. And I will never forget the first moment I saw you. I just got home from my mission. I was at Sushi-Ya, and
oh boy,
and I see this group of teenagers walk in, and there's this just humongous dude walking in behind them, and I'm like, holy cow, who's this guy? And come to find out, dude, it was you, dude. You big sushi guy.
Yeah, I hope you didn't watch me eat probably 10 plus rolls, but yeah, that was the high school spot to go and get sick before practice and ride
dude.
It out.
Heck yeah, dude. So that was Sushi-Ya. Us for, you know, at Clearfield, it was always Beto, so we'd always, you know, try to eat 2 burritos before practice and stuff. It was rough, but man, it's so cool to see a hometown kid get the opportunity, you know, at Utah, at BYU, Utah State, whatever. But it's really cool to see that. And so obviously with you, you know, you played at Utah, had a tremendous career at Utah. But I want to start just what it means to you to have found the success that you have, being a local kid, and what that's all felt like for you.
Yeah, it's been just a crazy ride. I don't really know exactly how to quantify it in words, but you know, growing up, it was just nothing but Utah. I was honestly kind of ignorant to even what the Pac-12 was when that came calling. All I knew was Utah football. That's where I wanted to get to, and you know, thankfully was able to make that happen. Had a lot of people helping me to get there. So as much as I'd like to say, you know, it was all me, I can take all the credit. No, I had just from family to friends to anyone else I came across, a bunch of people helped me to get there, and you know, helped me succeed once I got there as well. So it's everything I hoped it would be.
Love that, dude. And so, you know, obviously we're going back in time, right? A long time ago. You're coming out of high school, going through the recruiting process, and you ultimately commit to Utah. What was it about Utah, about Kyle and Morgan and that whole staff that led you to commit to the Utes?
I mean, my first memory of Utah was watching them at the Sugar Bowl, and just even at a young age, you know, my dad, he was a big Utah fan. Everyone in his family, so it was nothing but Utah growing up, honestly, and just watching all the success they had over the years. Just as a young man, just seeing the size of the guys on the field and just the sounds of the pads and just everything about Utah football, I just loved. And I mean, truly, it's. I didn't know anything about any other football programs. I didn't want to. It was just simply Utah from day one, and you know, that's where I wanted to be.
Love that. And obviously we're going to talk about the rivalry game, but want to stick to your career and your time at Utah for just a moment here. You spent a good 4 or 5 years there. Did you redshirt?
I did redshirt.
Okay.
That was a long year, but yes.
It was a long year. What is a redshirt year like at Utah?
You're a tackling dummy. The saying was
I know that role very well.
You are to be seen, not heard. Was kind of the saying. So great learning experience, but you're gonna take your licks. So
love that, dude. But so how does that benefit you? How do you like make the progress that you need to during that year? Like, what's that like beyond just being kind of the tackle dummy?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I think it's kind of mindset. Some people, it's the end of the world. You know, I should be out there playing, and I get that. You know, obviously as a competitor, no one wants to not be on the field. But you know, as best as I could, you just take that as, okay, if I get to go against the first team guys like Sam Brenner, you know, who you know, my freshman year was just the guy. But I get to go against him every day. So try to take advantage of that as best you can and make the best out of the situation you don't want to be in, and eventually it should pay off, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And so you were always, you know, once you got past that red shirt year, you were a pretty prominent presence along that defensive line from then on. I mean, 12 games, 11 games, 6 in 2015, and then 13 games played your senior year. Man, just like, what's it like going through the rigors of a season, staying healthy, especially, at Utah, playing defensive line for the physical style of brand that Utah plays with? It's got to be hard. Like, what's that like, taking care of your body and all of that?
Yeah, that's something I kind of learned the hard way, honestly. Obviously had the injury struggles my junior year, missed the last couple games my sophomore year. I was pretty used to this. You go to practice, you lift, you eat, you sleep, just kind of, I want to say going through the motions, but I didn't necessarily take the recovery part of it seriously.
Sure.
Until after my junior year, when all of a sudden it was just like, man, I separated my shoulder, sprained my MCL, just kind of nothing super crazy, but it's like, okay, I might have been able to avoid this if I maybe got to sleep a little bit earlier, if I eat a little bit cleaner, if I spend a little bit more time in the training room. So that was probably my biggest learning curve, honestly, at Utah, was how to take care of my body outside of the mandated hours from the team. And senior year had that figured out, and you play faster, you stay healthy, and took longer than I would have liked to know what I was doing with that, but glad I figured it out at the end there.
No, absolutely. And so was there somebody that kind of was that guy for you, the guy that took you under their wing, kind of showed you how to do all of that sort of stuff?
Man, honestly, there's just a bunch of guys. It's you try to learn from everybody as best you can, especially when you first get there. Guys like Star Lotulelei, I just remember watching him go about his business like a pro right out the gate. I mean, I would say that guy was kind of the one that I watched and was like, okay, check this guy out. Like,
that's a good one to pay attention to.
yeah. Outside of the frame, just his mindset and how well he took care of himself. That, I think he was like the first guy when I got to Utah that I was like, okay, this guy's figured it out. Kind of try to model after him what I can.
Yeah, no, that's tremendous, and obviously it culminated in a fantastic senior season. 2016, you finished the year 14 and a half sacks, led the Pac-12 in tackles for loss. You were dominant. You entered another level in terms of your ability as a pass rusher. You played with some great ones as well during your career.
Absolutely.
Like, how competitive was it in that room when it came to, number? And obviously, you're going to do team. You have the team first mentality, but just how competitive was it in terms of producing?
Extremely. I mean, I remember my redshirt year. I think Joe Kruger got 3 sacks against Washington State, and I was so happy for him, and also like so mad that wasn't me out there getting to get in on that. And then obviously guys like Nate Orchard, my sophomore year, just a stud. It's awesome to have a guy like that when he gets more sacks in a game than I do, I can be like, all right, now I'm more agitated this week and can try to get back at him. Guys like Pita Tamoipenu, I was surrounded by great pass rushers, truly, and I don't want to omit all the D tackles who were doing their part as well. But yeah, I know, extremely, extremely competitive, but in a healthy way. We all wanted to be the best.
Yeah, and so, I remember it was right at that time, 2015, 2016 is when Utah seemed to take that next step as a program at the Power Conference. What was that like in the program? What were the conversations like in terms of, making that next step, right? Pushing to get to that next level as a program.
Yeah, there was obviously a lot of frustration with the 5 and 7 seasons, as there would be with any program, truly. I think the biggest step in the right direction for us was when Dennis Erickson came on board. Man,
that's interesting to say as a defensive guy.
Yeah, no, it's I don't even know how to quantify Coach Erickson, man. He was such a cool guy, just such a different mindset, and I give all the credit to him. The mindset was kind of water makes you weak almost. Like, if we want to be tougher, we need to hit more. But then come November, that's usually when our struggles would happen. We're all beat up.
Yeah.
Everyone's tired. You can't heal if you're hitting 2-3 days a week, lifting heavy. So he was the guy that I think when he came in, had the pull to be like, hey, we have to make these changes.
Wow.
And just that man, once that happened, just you could kind of feel the culture shift a little bit. And, in my opinion, it was just kind of a smarter way to go about managing load in the season.
Yeah.
And the results were pretty immediate once he got there.
Wow. That's incredible to hear. And obviously, Dennis Erickson, he's obviously known for, what he did as a recruiter. But it's stuff like that you don't get to hear a lot about that I think even more impactful, obviously.
Yeah. No, it's hard to quantify when a guy like that comes on board that's won the national championship.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like he didn't have to be there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he's just talking to us in a different way. And yes, the swagger that guy brought, man. You could just tell, you know, he'd show up with his championship ring on.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure he let everybody know.
Exactly, man. So once you get a guy like that on board, I mean, there's obviously a million other factors, but for me, when Dennis Erickson came on board and I got to talk with him and his mindset, it was just like, okay, like this guy just, not that all of our coaches didn't know what they were doing,
right,
but this guy just brings that new perspective. He's had so much success that people kind of will feed off that. And that everything changed once he got there, from practice to lifts to just how he approached everything.
Yeah, no, that's incredible, and I think Utah certainly owes a lot of due to Dennis Erickson and bringing him in, because I think that's a great way to summarize his impact beyond just what we can see in terms of, you know, recruiting and all of that sort of stuff. So, dude, I want to switch gears. Obviously, it's rivalry week. It's the Holy War. It's
Hate week
everything.
is here.
Hate week is here. Utah-BYU. Obviously, this is a big one this season. But let's go back to your time as a University of Utah player. What are your thoughts on the rivalry? Your feelings about it? Just the general Hunter Dimick opinion on the Holy War.
Oh man, it's nothing but good memories for me. You know, I got to go 5-0 against those guys, so you know, it was to throw a little salt on the wound. It was nothing but good for me. No, it's just such a fun week. You know, growing up, obviously that was the game I always looked forward to watching from junior high to high school, and all the craziness that ensued every year, and just getting to feel just the energy, ferocity, everything about it just takes kind of one click up on the dial of how bad you want it and how hard you play, and just the heart behind it. It's my favorite week of the year, truly.
Do you have a favorite memory, whether it be in the game or in the preparation for the game? Do you have a favorite memory from rivalry week?
I mean, probably have to be senior year. BYU scores late. Kalani decides to go for two.
Yeah.
And I was telling this story a little earlier, but you know, I think the tackle's name, if I remember right, was Ului Lapuaho. Super great guy. Me and him were talking all game, and we just kind of smiled at each other. And he looks at me and he goes, "Well, you know Kalani," and I was like, "I sure do." Like, I thought for sure you guys were bluffing, but and you know, getting that win, getting to meet the quarterback at the 2-yard line and have it go our way, and just hearing the crowd, oh man, it doesn't get any better.
Yeah, no, I was that was the final year before I started doing media stuff, and I was in the stands for that one, and that was a huge moment. That stop at the end, just incredible. Yeah, obviously glad you made the stop. Obviously,
you and I both.
So what is the preparation like during the week? Like, what's it like? Is it how different is it from just a typical week?
I mean, you try to keep everything as similar as you can.
Yeah.
You know, effort and excitement are things that don't need to be coached, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of extra buzz around it just because, you know, we refer to them as the team down south, and again, just you kind of get that one click up on the intensity and the want to on everything. No doubt, but really nothing too crazy. Just the excitement of it all kind of elevates everything you do. But again, you try to keep everything as uniform as you can throughout the season.
That's great. Any thoughts on the game this weekend?
Man, I got Utah by at least 10. I like what we got. At least 10, man. No, they've got some studs, no doubt. Yeah. It's always super interesting when there's a freshman quarterback. Just is what it is. You know, I think you kind of live or die by some quick, inexperienced decision making, which either helps or hurts you. And credit to that kid, he's been playing excellent. Doesn't look like a freshman out there, but I know Scally and the D-line are going to put some pressure on him, so it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you. You know, obviously, with the success you had as a defensive end at Utah, we already mentioned your senior year, 14.5 sacks, you know, big mayor presence on, you know, in Sac Lake City. And there's a guy this season in John Henry Daly who's gotten a lot of comparisons to you as a player. Like, first of all, obviously, we were talking before we started recording, 10 years ago, almost. Like, has that sunk in? And then, two, what's it like to be the guy that everybody's comparing, you know, you too?
Yeah, no, it feels like yesterday, truly. I mean, half the time I still think I could go out and play, but I know I'd pull
it looks like you could.
The hamstrings would say otherwise for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
No, after JHD's first game, I got like 10 texts from different people like, man, there's a guy out there that runs just like you.
Yeah.
Like that could be a good or a bad thing. Can you elaborate what you mean by that? But no, seeing a guy like JHD come in, kind of taking the defense by storm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I hadn't heard about him prior to this year, and now you can't say Utah defense without his name with it. So I have no doubt that guy has put in tremendous amounts of work to make that jump that he did. And I'm glad to see there's another guy out there that kind of has that water boy switch to him like I did. So been absolutely awesome.
The water boy switch. I'm gonna have to start using that. That's a great one. Lewis Powell. I want to get your thoughts on him and what he meant to you in your development and just him as a coach.
I can't say enough good things about Coach Powell, man. He
because he always, whenever we talk about defensive ends and all the all-time greats, he always makes it a point to mention you specifically. Like you are within the first one or two names that he brings up.
That's awesome. No, he again, man, just cannot say enough good things about that man. Different coaching style than I was used to. Very laid back.
Yeah.
Just treated me like an adult, which I really appreciated. I think he understood that I was my hardest critic, truly, and he would help me whenever he knew I needed it. He would give me space whenever he knew I needed it. I don't think I've ever clicked with a coach as quickly as I did with Coach Powell. Truly, he just treated you like an adult, expected you to act like a professional, gave you the help you needed, wasn't on you when you didn't need it. He does everything right. And I mean, I think that's pretty evident in just the guys, the awards that the DNs have won over the years, several Morris Awards, and now again, JHD, next guy stepping up. It's no coincidence that we've all been coached by Coach Powell and have had success.
Yeah, and that sort of gets me into my next little topic is the defensive line and just the tradition that is there, that is present in, whether it be the defensive end or defensive tackle rooms. But there's a lot of pride, along the decock and what that is all about. Can you kind of talk about the mindset and the culture within those rooms specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it's I feel like it's kind of an unspoken rule. At least that was my mindset of just the decock is expected to be that backbone, is expected to be the group that comes through, expected to be the group that sets the tone, has the guys working the hardest, hitting the hardest, putting in the best effort. And, every other position group's going to say, nah, that's them. But not from the D-line room, just truly it was an unwritten rule that you gave everything that you had, truly. And you were expected to keep on the tradition that guys like Luther Ellis, guys like Starr, that just came in, played their hearts out, and kind of built the tradition of what we have now. We sure as heck weren't going to be the ones to drop that ball.
Love that. And I'd be curious too, like, as a pass rusher, as you're developing over the course of time, like, did you develop a favorite go-to type of move? Like, what was your thing? Like, everybody sort of has theirs. Like, it's looking like JHD and Logan Fano, they hit that spin button. What was your go-to?
I think my go-to was just the push-pull.
Yeah,
man, and I got to give a big shout-out to Coach Tuiaki. Man, that guy was, I'll say he was the OG Sac Lake City coach, man. He really helped me take that step from the scared freshman to like, hey, you can come in here and you can dominate. We just got to switch a few things. So he really opened up that door of that push-pull and kind of his methodology behind it. And, the guy like me, I was playing about 270 at Utah, and I mean, I had the speed to get around the edge, but the bread and butter was more power, and that push-pull that he really worked with me on kind of gave me the door of like, okay, if your bull rush isn't going to get there, now you've got this counter option. And once I got that down, I think that was the biggest step I was able to take as a pass rusher to get that developed.
All right, so you finish your career, get a couple opportunities in the NFL. You're wearing the Jacksonville Jaguars polo, which is great. Shout out to Devin Lloyd, obviously taking care of business out there for the U boys. Curious what that was like, getting to the NFL, working for your opportunities and how that's prepared you for the next phase in life.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty tough road, honestly. You go from the All-American record-setting season to not getting invited to the combine for whatever reason.
Right.
So, not that I'm still salty about it, but no, it was a lot of hard work. Jacksonville was definitely a new place, new culture. That humidity about killed me several times.
Holy
oh man,
cow, dude.
I still have nightmares about that. No, but it was just kind of the same mindset you take in. You just got to go and work as hard as you can. I was able to hang around the league for 3-ish years, and you do what you can with what you're given, and I take solace in the fact that I gave every ounce of effort that this body could produce. Truly, I was running on fumes for a long time there just from the stress of it all, but get nothing but good learning experiences, and how to keep your head up when things go wrong and keep pushing forward.
That's great. And so now as you've transitioned into that next phase of life and you're handling your business, how have you been able to stay connected with the program and stay involved with Utah football?
I'll catch 1 or 2 games a year.
Yeah.
A big thank you to Jeff Rudy and Pablo Cano. They always take care of me whenever I want to hit them up and snag a ticket for a game or get on the sideline. So really appreciate those two. I definitely had my time there. I love reminiscing on it. I love the energy still at the stadium, but now it's more sitting on the couch with the dog, drinking beer on Saturdays. So it's been a good transition.
Love that.
It's been a good transition to that.
I was gonna ask, have you thought about coaching at all, getting into coaching at all, or anything like that, or is that just you're enjoying the time on the couch?
It's hard to get off the couch these days. I'll tell you that. But I'm starting to get to the point now where that actually does sound pretty fun. I've been able to work with some buddies back home in Syracuse.
There you go.
Kind of do some personal training stuff with some of their guys that they work with. Every once in a long while, stop by Syracuse High School if there's a couple
Shout
kids.
out the Titans.
Amen to that. The mighty Titans. Mitch Tulane doing a heck of a job out there,
Yes,
man.
he
I
is.
appreciate your effort. But yeah, I think that's in the cards eventually for sure.
That'd be awesome, man. That'd be great. All right, let's finish this up with a quick little lightning round. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right. Favorite game you played in?
Oh, USC senior year.
Great. I'm trying to remember that one. I blanked on it. I gave you this dumb look. I'm trying to remember.
It was Sam Darnold was the QB.
That's
all
right.
I remember.
Oh, that was the
Tim Patrick last second touchdown. I had to think about it too. I just remember I liked it.
Dude, holy cow.
That game, man, as much as I don't like the team down south, USC was in that same ballpark.
Yeah.
Just because those are the guys. Those were the golden boys of the Pac-12. So when you played them, there was just all right, man, we got something to prove against these dudes. So being able to get them senior year at Rice-Eccles, man, still think about that.
And that was the first hand-painted helmets. What did you think of those helmets?
Oh yeah,
you
man,
remember
it
those?
was the blacked out with the drum and feather. I think it was like a granite concept was the concept. Oh yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll take credit for the team getting to do that every year too. So
I'm excited to see the ones this year, to say the least. All right,
I'm with you.
Favorite teammate, and I'm putting you on the spot because I know you probably have a lot, but favorite teammate.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna
You don't have
to
to name just one. You can name a list.
I'm gonna call it a tie between Hayden Clegg and Jared Norris.
Okay.
Just because of how crazy we used to be able to get, and the Hayden's locker room antics, I'm still our sure legend to this day. Can't talk about that over the air, but that guy was out of control. Still is. He's coming to stay with me this weekend to watch the game.
Heck yeah.
Man, I loved all my teammates, but anyone that hears about Hayden's locker room antics is definitely going to get a smile and shake their head. So I appreciate everything he did for us from a culture perspective.
Love that. Okay. John Pease was the defensive coordinator while you were there to finish your career. Obviously, he's a legend, right, when you're talking Utah football. Favorite John Pease memory?
Oh, man, we got video of him dancing during warm-ups.
Yeah.
And at first, it's kind of like this kind of goofy. You're laughing at it like, oh, there's peas being peas. And then he kind of sticks with it for 10 more seconds, and he's killing it, bro. I mean, I still remember we get together in the defensive room, and for 15 seconds, we just watch Pease dance, the whole defense. And, again, you're kind of laughing at first, and then halfway through it, you're like, okay, he actually knows what he's doing. And that's just the type of man he was. Whatever we were doing, he was having fun with it. One of those guys, again, that you just can't say enough good things about.
No, absolutely. All right. played against some good offensive tackles as well. Who gave you the best work in practice?
J.J. Dillman.
JJ.
Man, and shout out to Sam Tevy, too. Lots of great work against him. JJ.
Chargers great, Sam Tevy.
Yes, the Chargers great, Sam Tevy. JJ, I just remember he came in at like 230, 240 pounds, gets up to, 300, whatever. And, man, that guy could move his feet like no one I've ever met to this day. So I remember when he worked his way up to the ones and we started going against each other, he just kind of had that extra chip on his shoulder, and he wanted to beat me as bad as I wanted to beat him, and it was just a battle every day at practice. So that without a doubt made me much, much better.
Incredible. All right, man, we'll finish up with this one. Obviously, the BYU game this weekend. What is the key for Utah in this matchup?
I think you got to get BYU's quarterback as soon as possible, get him rattled. I'll kind of speak back to what I said a little earlier. If you can get in those freshmen's head as early as possible and they're thinking about it, they get hit hard once or twice and start getting nervous. I like Utah's chances if that happens. Obviously you got your basics, stop the run, all that, but I love Utah's offensive line. I love Dan Pierce's ability. Yeah. I think our biggest X factor is going to be getting to that quarterback and getting him rattled as soon as possible. We do that, and Utah by 10 plus.
There you go, man. Hunter, it's been so nice to have you in studio. Like you shared, we've been talking about this for a while. It's good to finally get in the studio. It's been fun to reminisce on 10 plus years ago, your time there at Utah.
Wild.
Crazy, dude. But no, you set a standard there up at Utah that I think everybody shoots for, and obviously with John Henry Daly doing what he's doing, drawing the comparisons to you, I think is says enough. So, Hunter, appreciate the time, man. Excited for this weekend, and that'll do it for us.
Thank you for having me.